signature here. And then it looks like getting some timing here. These storms will be near, this is from the text of the warning, these storms will be near Interstate 65 and AL 158 and 65, 165 around 9:15. So 65, 165 getting to about this point around 9:15, so in 15 minutes. So 15 minutes for it to carry that distance here. So again, we're not talking about downtown Mobile. We are talking about areas north of the airport and areas north and west of the USA campus for this tornado warning. Possible tornado crossing Howells Ferry Road and then eventually going to cross 98 here. Jen, what is this community, this little neighborhood right here? If you can zoom into it, I'm going to kind of call out some of these names. Jarrett Road, Bear Fork Road, High Point Boulevard. That looks like Golfway Drive. If the Golfway community is a place that you know, I would go ahead and get into an interior room just in case. Lacoste Road. This is Schillinger right here in the rotation area. So this is Schillinger. The rotation area is just off to the back. Magnolia Grove Golf Course, also a great reference point there, kind of on the north side of campus. So that's all near Magnolia Grove Golf Course. Moffett Road, of course, right here. Looking at some of the locations there. Pathway Church, if you know where that is. There's a McDonald's and Pritchard Municipal Park. Kind of looking at some of the map stuff right now to kind of get some bearings on other locations. Bear Fork Road is one road that we've been calling out, but definitely if you are near the Magnolia Grove Golf Course, which is right here, that is where our possible tornado is. The Bienville community there, just south of Moffett Road right here. Forest Highland is another one community there. So this is just kind of calling out some of the locations where this rotation signature is. Again, we're waiting for the newest scan on radar, but it popped up right near the airport, and since it's close to the radar, we actually got a really good picture of this here, moving off to the north and east around 25 miles per hour. Jen, if we could zoom out real quick. I want to get kind of a general picture of what's going on. So we've been tracking a line of thunderstorms that's been slowly intensifying here over the past hour or so. There is a severe thunderstorm warning in this yellow polygon for Mobile County. These storms are rolling off to the east. We were watching a couple rotation areas, and one that caught our eye was just north of the airport. This is downtown Mobile right here. This is Mobile Regional Airport. This red box right here is your tornado warning polygon, and the rotation area is right here in this warning polygon, and that's moving off to the northeast. Magnolia Grove Golf Course is probably where that circulation area is now. We're waiting for the new scan, and eventually it'll keep moving in. This is the new scan. As you can see, it sweeping in here. I'm interested to see what it looks like as it does, and let's see what it looks like. Yes, so it looks like there could be a possible tornado. This is a really strong signature near Southampton Way. This is probably past you at this point, but if you live just on the north side of Howells Ferry Road near Southampton Way, what are some of those other really small streets, Jen? Just go all the way in. Magnolia Grove Parkway, Bear Fork Road, that is Bent Tree Road, Jarrett Road, Westchester Circle. This is Raintree, Brunswick Drive, Cochran Road. This is Alabama 217, that's Lott Road, and the corner of Lott Road and US 45 and 8 Mile. You need to be in shelter right now. It looks like we might have a small tornado that's happening near the Magnolia, on the south side of the Magnolia Grove Golf Course. That's about to cross Moffett. Going to cross North University, Bear Fork Road. Look at correlation coefficient, Jen. I want to see if that's popping up, because that looks like a pretty tight little signature there. And we are in a wonderful spot on radar right now. We have a great view of this. That looks suspect, but I'm not going to bite on that right now. So the possibility of, I'm not going to bite on that. I don't think it's not perfectly co-located, but definitely something that we will watch over the next little bit. This is our debris tracker, and it can actually tell us if there is any debris other than raindrops being lofted. So this red and green signature right next to each other, just on the south side of the Magnolia Grove Golf Course, is a possible tornado west of downtown Mobile, well west of midtown Mobile. It is just northeast of the airport. So northeast of the airport, north of the University of South Alabama campus, about to cross 98. That's Moffett Road, and that's going to move off to the east. That is Shelton Beach Road extension here, the Shelton Beach Road extension that goes up to Bear Fork Road. Let's take shelter immediately. When I say take shelter, interior room away from windows. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. 8 Mile is my focus community right now. If you are in 8 Mile, you definitely need to be heading into shelter. I don't think this is going to last super long. This is not going to be a kind of tornado that is on the ground for a long time. Yeah, okay, so there is now a TDS with it. So we're going to call this a confirmed tornado now. So confirmed tornado. Tornado is on the ground near Magnolia Grove Golf Course in Mobile, about to cross Moffett Road here. And it probably is crossing Moffett Road at this point. So our next places in line for a confirmed tornado, North University Boulevard and Shelton Beach Road extension, this intersection right here. Jen, can I see this intersection on Google Maps? If you could pull it up for me, just so I can see it. So that's the Bear Fork Road and then North University. So I can see the neighborhood on the Pinewood, as well as another location that's been talked about there. Forest Highland, Bear Fork Road. And then I'm just kind of looking at this there. Loma Vista, Megidson Park. Just some of the locations in there. Moffett and Bear Fork Road, Campers and More is a store that is located near there. 8 Mile Creek. Go up into 8 Mile now, and let's see what else we have. So here's 8 Mile and some of the other locations. A reason I have the opportunity here, since we have such a great road network, that I can call out all of these locations. If I'm calling out your location, you need to be in shelter, because this is a confirmed tornado that we have going on. Magnolia Grove Parkway, Highland Road. I have a feeling that we might need to look at some of these northern communities as well in the Polygon. This is Jarrett Road, Bent Tree, Dossett Road, Highland Road. So that's some of the places that we're looking at for the potential of a tornado. And here's the 10-day forecast. We'll get back to that. It's loading. Okay, don't worry about that. Computer's going to be silly. So again, we have a tornado warning that is right now in Mobile County for a tornado that is on the ground about to cross Moffett Road. North University and Jarrett is the intersection that we're watching very closely. This is moving off to the northeast. High Point Boulevard is another location that we're going to look at, and eventually getting towards 8 Mile. I'm a little concerned, or something that I could see possibly happening, is this taking a more northerly track here. So Magnolia Grove Parkway, if you are on the northern side of the Magnolia Grove Golf Course, you need to be in shelter immediately here. I'm going to step off for just 1 second. I'm going to grab my phone. But again, what's happening right now is we have a tornado warning that has been issued for Mobile County for a tornado that is now confirmed on the ground very near the Magnolia Grove Golf Course. And this rotation signature has weakened a little bit in the last scan, but it is still enough near Moffett Road. We want to hold on to this and want to make sure that you are in a safe place away from windows. Kind of inspecting this on my phone, it does look like we did have a little bit of debris kicked up when the tornado went near Southampton Way here. This little neighborhood that's on the south side of Magnolia Grove Golf Course there. And I'm actually going to look at this on my phone as well. So again, this is north of the USA campus. Some roads that might have been here. Thank you, Jen, for going in. So Southampton Way, Princeton Woods Drive North, Southampton Way and Green Forest Road, Princeton Woods Drive East. It looks like this Princeton Woods community possibly got impacted by a tornado just a few moments ago. Now the tornado is moving off to the east. It crossed probably the eastern side of the golf course there, crossing 98, that's Moffett Road. And then this, thankfully, this portion right here, Forest Highland, that is all forest. So that is good news. And the latest scan here, oh, that's good news to see. Yeah. Much weaker scan here. But right now that location, Bear Fork Road and Highland. 8 Mile, I still want you to be in your shelter. If you're on Lott Road, near the Greers in 8 Mile, if you're near the Shell in 8 Mile, the Walgreens in 8 Mile, everything in 8 Mile, I just want you to stay in shelter just in case this spins up again. But right now it looks like that it is weakening. So what has happened here? We had a tornado that likely happened very near the southern side of Magnolia Grove Golf Course, a weak spin-up tornado. Now it's crossing, the circulation, I should say, is crossing North University Boulevard, High Point Boulevard, Bear Fork Road, and that's moving into 8 Mile now. If you're in 8 Mile, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows, please, just in case this thing is still on the ground. If you're in downtown Mobile, if you are in Pritchard, and you can see Pritchard on the edge of the polygon here, Neely, you are not exactly in this warning. If you're on the north side of Pritchard, near Viger High School, you have got to go ahead and pay attention to this and make sure you're in shelter. Chickasaw, this is a little bit away from you, but let's respect the polygon and get into shelter here. Jen, let's go down to downtown Mobile so I can say, yeah, so see, this is Tolmanville, Midtown. You are not in the warning. Midtown's not in this warning. Shops of Bel Air, if you're near McGowan Park, you are not in this warning. Downtown Mobile is not in this warning. This is an issue for the 8 Mile area at this point. Moffett Road, as we have the remnant circulation, this red and green right next to each other, that's the remnant circulation. I'm not super concerned about this at this point, but the rotation did tighten up there, and it looks like we had an indication of debris there, enough to have them go with a tornado confirmed tag on this tornado warning there. So again, 8 Mile, location that needs to be in shelter at this point. Shelton Beach Road, Lott Road, this is moving off to the north and east. Jen, if we can go up to here, the kind of North Mobile area. So this is Interstate 65. If this were to hold together, Thompson Boulevard, North Mobile, West Lee Street, and that is, yeah, West Lee Street, Sutherland Drive, Mavilla Drive, and that one behind the banner there, that is kind of on the north side of, that is, what does that say, Jen? I can't read it.
I see Idlewood Drive.
Barratera Drive maybe, and then this is Saraland High School. So this is the location. It's kind of forested right here on Interstate 65, but this is your rotation area, and that is moving in that general direction if it were to hold together. We have an update to the severe thunderstorm warning now, if we can pull out and take a look at that. This severe thunderstorm warning has now been expanded to include portions of Baldwin County. So what we have happening right now is a line of strong thunderstorms with some areas of rotation that we're having to watch closely, including one that is actually tornado warned at this time. It's moving off to the east and soon will enter Baldwin County. They issue these warnings for a lead time of about an hour. So that means in about an hour this would get to the edge of Baldwin County, here into Baldwin County. Latest note from our friends who are covering radar right now at the National Weather Service, lowering in the correlation coefficient, which is that debris tracker product that we look at. And there's a reflectivity inflow notch, so an inflow notch there that we can see. Likely no longer a tornado debris signature. And she says that they're letting it go for 1 or 2 more scans to make sure it doesn't produce again before removing the confirmed tag. I like what they're saying there. So essentially what they just said is they're going to watch this for a few more radar scans. They're going to see if it's still happening, if the rotation's holding together. If it is, they'll keep the warning. If not, we can give people an all clear. So here's the big picture. Again, we have a strong line of thunderstorms, a severe line of thunderstorms moving through Mobile County and into Baldwin County at this time. There is a tornado warning that has been issued just north of Moffett Road, just north of the University of South Alabama campus. A tornado likely went through the Magnolia Grove Golf Course on the southern side of it. Crossed Moffett Road. This is your inflow notch right now. This is the area that we're looking at. There's wind going in right here, wrapping around, and this is our area of rotation that we still have concern for. An 8 Mile located right here, Saraland High School right here. If this rotation area were to hold together, this would be the location that we'd have to watch for as it continues to move off to the north and east. And I do think that based on radar, based on correlation coefficient, we had a tornado that was on the ground. Now, we do not think that we have a tornado on the ground at this very moment. You see how the reds and greens are not super bright right next to each other, but this is kind of the north end of North University Boulevard. You saw that location marker there. That's moving off to the east near 8 Mile, and 8 Mile will be a community that we have to watch soon. I'm actually going to check a second radar source here just to see what we had. But again, this is your rotation area moving towards 8 Mile. They are going to, the latest from the National Weather Service, they are going to update this tornado warning and go back to radar indicated and not radar confirmed. So confirming what we were just saying to you, this tornado is not on the ground at this moment, but they are going to continue with a tornado warning for a little while here. Yes, we definitely did have a tornado on the ground. I was looking at the correlation coefficient loop, and that definitely did happen. So we had a tornado that touched down near the Magnolia Grove golf course. If you know anybody in that area, I would not advise travel in this area. Of course, I wouldn't advise travel in Mobile right now. It is a terrible thunderstorm going on, but this area was just impacted by a tornado, it seems like. So we have a really good view of this on radar. We can tell what's going on. Latest scan on radar, this does not look that impressive, to be honest, but still, because the tornado warning polygon is here, 8 Mile, I want you to stay in for, we have this thing going till 9:45. I want you to stay in for this few more minutes as they update the warning. So here's the newest update to the warning. Here's the new polygon that they've gone with. You notice they broadened the polygon out a little bit. There's a little more uncertainty on where a rotation area could be. I don't think it's there. We'll see if they cancel this in the next little bit. But Kushla is technically in the polygon. Saraland, Satsuma High School. Satsuma High School is on the southern side of Satsuma there. That is now in the tornado warning polygon. A heads up to you. You have a strong thunderstorm coming your way that is possibly rotating. I say possibly because it's not rotating as strongly as it was before. But Saraland, if you are in Saraland at this point, I just need you to be in an interior room away from windows out of respect for what we just saw a few minutes ago, which was a tornado on the ground. Jen, if you could do me a favor, can we go down the line with velocity? I want to check for any other rotation areas that could be developing. Now that's a lot of wind there in Mobile County. If you are in Mobile County near the bay, near the western shore of the bay, those bright colors that you see right here, that is very, very strong wind that is going on right now. And that's now moving over the bay. So these are severe thunderstorms that are producing wind. Looks like the latest update for the tornado warning here. This is the statement from Jonathan, meteorologist at the National Weather Service. This feature could recycle again. We're going to keep the tornado warning here. That makes complete sense. And that's what I was saying earlier. While we don't see a crazy rotation signature right now, it could cycle back up. We have a tornado warning that remains in effect. If you are in Saraland, you're going to want to pay attention. This is a view on the back side. This is actually on top of our studios. View on the back side looking north, and you can see it. Gusty winds. It's not super crazy here. The heaviest stuff just passed us, but looking north in that general direction where we do have heavy rain that is falling. Again, the tornado warning, not for places like McGowan Park, not for places like downtown Mobile, not for midtown Mobile. Our concern is in Saraland. Jen, I saw you were looking at something earlier, and I see what you're saying here. See this area now over Mobile Bay. You see how the reds and greens are somewhat closer together. They're not super tight, but how strong the reds are there. It looks like we're going to have an area of strong winds here, and there's the possibility of a water spout or two as this moves off to the east and approaches the eastern shore. Now, I want to tell you, if you're on the eastern shore, heads up, we could be dealing with a strong thunderstorm producing some really strong winds coming your way. Here's a look at the radar again. Tornado warning polygon still goes for Saraland. Saraland, you need to be in an interior room away from windows. Otherwise, for the rest of us, this is a severe thunderstorm warning that continues, a severe thunderstorm warning for strong winds that are possible. And does this severe thunderstorm warning have a tornado possible tag, Jen, on it? Because I'm wondering if it does. Because one thing I'm noticing here looking at radar, you see all these little, yes, perfect. It has a tornado possible tag on it. So what the National Weather Service has done is the National Weather Service is saying, We have a severe thunderstorm warning to blanket this because this is a really nasty storm producing potentially damaging winds moving into Baldwin County. But also there are these little notches in the line and those could spin up rather quickly. We're going to have to pay attention, and they have that tornado possible tag on that. So right now noting this other circulation over Mobile Bay about to cross through Middle Bay light, and it'll be approaching Point Clear within the next 15 minutes or so. So a heads up to Point Clear if you're in Fairhope. We have this rotation area that's over the bay now that is just developing, just live analysis on radar that we're doing here, and that's going to eventually get to the eastern shore. There's no warning. There's a severe thunderstorm warning that we want you to pay attention. This is a live look on behind me from the Bayway, where you can see how heavy some of that rain is that's falling. Heavy rain and gusty winds happening right now as this line of storms is moving off to the east. But again, we're going to watch stuff like this. This is essentially what caused our tornado earlier near Magnolia Grove. It was a quick tightening of an area that was enhanced with winds, a little bit of spin there, and that's something that we're just going to have to watch as it approaches the eastern shore. Going back up to our tornado warning now, I'm not seeing much on that scan, and I'm checking the other radar source here, and that does not look that bad either. So still, out of respect of the polygon that the National Weather Service has, we're going to say if you're in Saraland, please stay in shelter for at least another 15 minutes here, because that tornado warning continues until almost 20 minutes here, continues until 9:45. They have just updated the polygon of the warning here. Now the polygon does include Baldwin County. So if you're in Baldwin County, you're just getting a notification and just joining us, there's a tornado warning for a possible weak circulation that's located near 8 Mile right now, moving off to the north and east and about to get into the Delta. Our folks that need to be in shelter right now near Saraland, if you're along 43, I'd go ahead and say let's just be in shelter to be safe here. This polygon, the northern side of Pritchard is in the polygon. If you live north of Viger High School, let's go ahead and make sure you're in shelter. That does include Chickasaw. Just to be safe here, I don't see anything on radar. Just telling you how it is. I don't see anything on radar right now, but this thing could cycle up pretty quickly, so we want to be better safe than sorry. Go ahead and get to an interior room away from windows. Once this goes over the Delta, we'll have some time to breathe because there's no population over the Delta. So that's the new tornado warning polygon for the same circulation from a tornado that impacted near the Magnolia Grove golf course not too long ago. Zooming out, looking at the bigger picture again, we do have a couple areas of very strong wind. If you're near Theodore, Hollinger's Island along DIP, this is some epically strong winds getting picked up. Can you switch the product to regular velocity instead of relative? I want to see what this looks like in normal velocity. But Hollinger's Island, you see how bright these colors are? So if you're in Rangeline Road, Dauphin Island Parkway, this is just strong thunderstorm wind. Strong thunderstorm wind that is out there about to cross Dauphin Island Parkway. Jen, if you use the pallets on the right side, and yeah, and we can see that. So you see how this is going white here? This is possibly some very, very strong wind near. That is definitely strong severe thunderstorm wind. I wonder if we'll get an upgrade on the warning if this stuff continues. So right now, yeah, 73 miles per hour. That is serious stuff. Strong winds moving over the bay at this point. If you are in Fairhope, if you live along C-898 in Fairhope down to Point Clear, and if you're along the bay here in Montrose, go ahead and get ready for some very strong winds. All right, let's see what we have here. Let's see. What does that say, Jen? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. It says, so this is the National Weather Service talking. There are several areas of concern with weak circulations. This is something that we've been seeing so far for this morning. Now, especially moving across Mobile Bay, this line will be approaching the eastern shore within the next 15 minutes. Please closely monitor these storms and be prepared to seek safety in an interior room on the lowest floor if a tornado warning is issued for your location between Spanish Fort and Point Clear, including the cities of Daphne and Fairhope. Damaging winds are also also expected as this line of storms begin to push across this location. So here's a live view outside down in Fairhope. A little eerie with how calm the bay waters are, but you can still just start to see some of those gloomy overcast skies. So parents, if you are checking in with us, you're watching some of this, kids are on summer break, check in with them, make sure they know what to do, make sure that they're awake, they're out of bed if they're located in Spanish Fort, Daphne, Fairhope, even just the eastern shore of Baldwin County. Make sure that they're awake, they're aware of what's going on once these storms begin to push across, especially for the Fairhope and the Point Clear kids, just because that's where we really are starting to see some of those gusty winds moving in. If you have anything outdoors that could easily be blown away, now is your moment to go ahead and move that inside. Think of the flags that you might have out there, any of that lawn decor, just because that rain is about to quickly move in, but also bring in some of those gusty winds too as they're pushing across Mobile Bay here. But we'll continue also to check back in on this camera view just to see, I mean, perfect location for the storm that's going to be pushing in.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be looking at this camera view. Hopefully those workers get inside pretty soon, because that storm is coming their way, and that is some serious wind over the bay at this point. So getting some questions right now about what is going on. So I want to say that was probably about 15 to 20 minutes ago. We had a tornado that was on the ground in Mobile County near Magnolia Grove. It was a very quick spin-up tornado that happened near the golf course, and we hope everybody got to shelter. They are holding on, the National Weather Service, to a tornado warning for Saraland. So if you've been in Saraland, we haven't mentioned you in a second, we still have you in shelter. I anticipate that there's the potential that they could drop this warning a little early, but technically it goes until 9:45. If you don't hear from me again, stay in shelter near Saraland, Chickasaw, and if you're near Satsuma High School, stay in shelter until 9:45. That is when the tornado warning expires and we can take a breath there. Pritchard technically is in the northern part of Pritchard is in this warning. I'm not too worried about that. My concern more is near Saraland, where the remnant of the circulation was. Can we look at it on reflectivity? I want to see how it looks, see if we still see the inflow notch here, because what we had earlier was a nice notch on the back side of this, and I don't see it as much anymore. Maybe right there near Chickasaw. What could be happening here is we have wind that is punching in on the backside. You see how it goes from red to yellow to red again? Wind punching on the backside here, that could still be causing a little bit of rotation. So if you're near Saraland and Chickasaw, you're probably getting some very strong winds. Viger High School as well. Go ahead and seek shelter if you're near Viger High School, because you're getting some of the heaviest thunderstorms at this point. Points east of 43. If you live east of 43 and north of Pritchard, let's be in shelter at this point as we have a very, very heavy thunderstorm with the potential for some rotation there. Looking down the line, very strong thunderstorm with heavy rain, as you can see behind me, now impacting the Bayway. This camera, if I'm looking at it, is probably about right here on the Bayway, and that is definitely some heavy wind. So Bayway is not the place to be at this point. We're now having a more serious concern about this. Jen is zooming in on it. What's happening right now is we have air that is moving in, and we have this is a perfect inflow notch here.
There you go, tornado coming for east side of Mobile Bay.
And then it looks like we will get a tornado warning. So here's your circulation that is located right here. So new information, we are about to get a tornado warning for the eastern shore of Mobile Bay for this strong circulation that's currently in the middle of the bay that's about to move onshore.
There's two areas of rotation.
And there's two areas of rotation. So what's the second one?
Point Clear and another between Fairhope and Daphne.
All right, so they're looking at this down here, aren't they? If we can zoom out a little bit. Okay, I see what's happening. So we have this notch that's right here. And then if we could go to velocity, I'll be able to see this better. But this knot right here, that is in between Fairhope and Daphne. If you're in Montrose, let's go ahead and get in. And then we have another tornado potential circulation that is off to the south. So this is how it's working here. Your new tornado warning polygon, if we could take me full, guys, that'd be great. This tornado warning polygon includes Daphne, Montrose, Fairhope, Point Clear, Fairhope High School, Fish River, all the way down to Magnolia Springs, wow, Barnwell, Marlow, Clay City, Summerdale, Silver Hill, Robertsdale, Elsinore is included in this warning, Rosington, Loxley, Bell Forest, Daphne High School in Daphne, Lake Forest, Bayfront Park, Spanish Fort is actually not in it, on the southern side, south of Spanish Fort High School, south of US 31. That is a lot of communities that I just called out, and that is a lot of communities that I'm going to have to ask here, can you seek shelter in an interior room away from windows? Our concern is what Jen is highlighting there, and this that is near Middle Bay Light.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. So we have a very, very strong and dare I say, violent signature that is approaching Daphne. If you're in Daphne along 98 right now, you need to get shelter immediately. If you're near Montrose along 98, let's get to shelter immediately. County Road 64 and 98, get to shelter. There's a live look from Fairhope Pier where it is very, very windy. Look at that. That flag is huge, and it is fully extended. So this is very, very strong wind. That view coming from Fairhope right here. Fairhope, let's get to shelter. Bell Forest, if you're in Lake Forest, let's go ahead and get into shelter based on the movement of this thing. Montrose is the big place that I'm looking at right now. Your possible tornadic waterspout, I should say, is located right here over the bay. Montrose is right here. This is the eastern shore. This is 98. You've got to be in an interior room away from windows. This does include Fairhope out of respect of this large polygon that the National Weather Service has. You see that immediately in County Road 1 all the way to 98. If you're on the south side of Greeno Road, let's get to shelter in an interior room away from windows just out of respect of what's going on. This is a pretty strong thunderstorm here. If you're near Silver Hill, let's go ahead and be ready for the possible tornado or possible strong winds moving your way. You've got to be in shelter. Bell Forest community, 181 and 64. 181 and 64. 181 and 64. Let's get in shelter. If you live along County Road 13, north of County Road 104 especially, but if you're in between 104, 64, Baldwin County, let's go ahead and get to shelter right now as we have a potential tornado that is coming your way, or at least an area of very strong winds here, and that is this signature. These whites, we don't see that too often on radar. That is some very, very strong winds. Looking at it closely, Main Street near Montrose, Rock Creek. If you're in the Rock Creek community, you have to get an interior room away from windows. The goal here is for you to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And this is a pretty serious rotation area if it holds together as it moves inland. So I'm saying all these communities now, there's the possibility that this doesn't hold together, but right now, having to watch this very, very closely, a very, very strong rotation signature. Fairhope, you are also in this. You have to be in shelter at this point. State Highway 181, 181 and 104. That is the Wawa. That is points north. Some of the other communities that are there that I can't think of the name right now on 181, you need to be in shelter at this point. There's a lot of neighborhoods here. Whispering Pines Road, all of these places. Let's go ahead and get into an interior room away from window. We're moving our live cameras right now. That's rain-wrapped mess is what that is, Jen. So not going to see much out of that, but thank you for trying on that one. So again, here's the situation. Let's go back up to Saraland real quick. We have no tornado warning for Saraland, and places around Saraland. Satsuma High School, Chickasaw, North Pritchard, all clear to your tornado threat. All clear to your tornado threat in Saraland and surrounding areas. No all clear for these folks. We have a strong area of winds and a possible tornado here happening just to the east of Montrose that is moving into 98 here very soon. Bell Forest community, County Road 13 and County Road 64, a place that we really want to pay attention to. And this is moving off to the east. What's the forward motion on this general thing? It's, let's see here. 35 miles per hour. So, Jen, if we could take, and let me look at the, let's see here. Look at the motion. Yeah, this is almost moving due east or almost east-northeast. If we could take that forward, that would be interesting to get some arrival times. Fairhope, right now, let's go ahead and get into shelter in an interior room. You are about to get, if you're in downtown Fairhope or near Fairhope, a moment of some extremely strong winds. You can see it right now on that live camera. That is what you're about to get. Some very strong winds from a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. So that's why our recommendation is an interior room away from windows. Jen is putting the forward track on this here. This track going about 35 miles per hour. And these are your lines of time of arrival. So Fairhope happening now. It is 9:36 happening now is your thunderstorm. Magnolia Springs at 9:47. So Magnolia Springs, this leading edge gets to you in about 10 minutes. Loxley, it doesn't have the time on there, but I would say about 11 or 12 minutes for you. And then we look at Alberta. Alberta down here, that will be at 10:06 a.m. And then Gateswood getting to the north of Interstate 10 here, if this thing holds together, Gates would be around 10:12. We have some time to go here to deal with this line of thunderstorms. But again, the urgent call to action now from Fish River. If you live Fish River Point, Weeks Bay, points north, Fairhope High School, all the way up County Road 13, County Road 98, Montrose, Daphne. You have to be in an interior room away from window. We have an extremely strong thunderstorm, potentially producing winds of around 70 miles per hour, and that means that you have to take shelter. Looking at some of the roads here, that's Point Clear. The Grand Hotel is right here. This is Fairhope. This is Fairhope High School. Heavy wind. That's rain on radar, but that's also heavy wind that is blowing on in. So be ready for that. Downtown Fairhope, that means you. We were showing you that camera. We have strong winds that are coming your way. Daphne as well. We still have this notch here, which is not great to look at, and we're getting a new scan in on radar, but that notch is now moving over Montrose. So when I say notch, that is an area of rotation embedded in this pushing area of very, very strong winds. So Montrose, you need to be in shelter immediately. Bayfront Park in Daphne, that Daphne camera would be really interesting right now. Lake Forest, that's Ridgewood Drive right there in Lake Forest. You've got to be in shelter immediately. Lake Forest, let's get into an interior room away from windows. Bell Forest, I haven't called out County Road 54 yet, but County Road 54 is a place that we need to watch. This is a perfect camera view. This is on 98. There in Daphne, very near where this storm is about to impact. So I'm going to watch that camera over the next few minutes to see. Here's the leading edge of where the heaviest wind would be. Right now, Fairhope getting impacted with the heaviest wind. Now it's crossing 181. Our next landmark in line for the heaviest wind would be near Fish River. Fish River, 104 going over Fish River there, County Road 32 going over Fish River. Probably some very strong winds embedded in this. We have to pay attention to that. Going down all the way to Weeks Bay here, we still have strong winds that are possible. This is a less intense part of the storm, but still quite intense. So Weeks Bay, Magnolia Springs, let's go ahead and be in an interior room if you're at Magnolia Springs, because the winds could be really quite strong. Here's a look. Let's go to velocity here, because whenever the Weather Service is using all exclamation points, this is some serious business here. This is serious. This is a very, very strong wind event. I couldn't imagine. These are probably 70 to 80 mile per hour winds happening right now. So Fly Creek, north side of Fairhope. For reference, downtown Fairhope's right here. Coffee Loft is about right there. So your location, the Volanta Park is about right here. So that is heavy core of damaging winds that is moving through that area. We could see trees impacted here. There is no need to be driving on 98 right now in Baldwin County. 181, don't need to be driving. Let's go ahead and get into an interior room. Go ahead and stop at a gas station, convenience store, get yourself out of this. You do not want to be in this damaging winds. This is County Road 64 right here. It looks like based on radar, some of the worst of it is just off to the south. But this right here is our rotation area as well. So we have to be aware of this. County Road 64 here. This is what that camera looks like. This is Rock Creek on 98, and you see the sheets of rain blowing. I am shocked that anybody is driving in this. That's incredible, but very, very strong winds. That Rock Creek camera, that is about right here. So that is in the core of the winds right now. And that Algo camera showing you can see how it's blowing sideways there. So again, we have a tornado threat in Baldwin County right now, and we have an extreme very serious damaging wind threat. Probably one of the bigger damaging wind threats we've had on the north side of Fairhope in a long time. This is some extreme wind. Rotation area is right here. This area of bright colors is strong winds that is blowing off the bay and into Baldwin County. So right now it seems to be crossing 104 and then eventually we'll go ahead and start talking about Silver Hill. In fact, Silver Hill, you need to be in an interior room at this point. You do not need to be driving on 98. I'm shocked at the amount of people that are driving there. 181, I wouldn't be driving there either. Don't go up and down 181 right now. 104 is located right here, our rotation area, which seems to be tightening up a little bit.
And so I just want to reiterate for some folks too that we're getting a lot of chatter on our Facebook right now on our Facebook Live. Just a reminder, in case your kids, they are out of school, it is summer break, please make sure that they are awake, that they are aware, even though this is not a confirmed tornado right now, these are still damaging wind gusts. We've been getting some reports of the USA Chile Mesonet in Fairhope on Highway 104 getting a wind gust of 53 miles per hour. And so this is still going to be things that are causing some damage. We might start to see some power outages just from some loose, weak tree limbs out there. So just double check, make sure your kids are awake, make sure they know what to do in this situation, especially in case they are located in central Baldwin County, where Nicholas is just naming off some of these areas. That's where you need to be paying close attention for some of these winds. So again, there's still some rotation out there. The winds is still a big concern out there. Yeah, and they're adjusting the tornado warning polygon right now. And if you're wondering where you need to go at this point, if you're in Silver Hill, Loxley, and you're in this tornado warning and severe thunderstorm warning, our recommendation is to get into an interior room. When I say that, it's typically a closet, hallway, something without windows. The rule we say is put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Even if this isn't a tornado, that is hurricane force winds of around 75 miles per hour getting picked up by radar right now, going right down 104. If you live near 104, that is going to cause serious issues. So you have to be in an interior room. That is probably the best thing to do. You could have trees falling, you could have debris flying, and you don't want to be near any of that. So that is the best course of action for you to do. This is Whispering Pines in 98 there. This is very near. This is just past it now. The rotation's just past it, but very near where the rotation was. Actually, this is just north of the rotation there. I'm shocked at the amount of people that are on the road. My goodness. But this rotation area is going to be passing across 181, probably is passing across 181 now, and then that will get itself to near Loxley pretty soon here. Some of the velocity measurements that I've been seeing, I'm still seeing around 60 mile per hour velocity measurements, but the note from the National Weather Service, winds possibly approaching 80 miles per hour here. So with that, again, Loxley is the next group in line, is the next community in line here. Robertsdale, let's be in here. I haven't talked about County Road 32 near Fish River, but that is still some very strong wind there, and you're going to want to be in shelter at this point. So this is County Road 32 right here. This is 104. You see that little red and green right there? That is Whispering Pine. That is Whispering Pines, correct, Jen? I'm sorry, I might be mislabeling that. No, that's going to be Daphne Avenue. Daphne Avenue, 64, excuse me. Whispering Pines is up here. County Road 64 is right here. That's where I have my rotation area. These are all moving from west to east. So this is going to move the rotation area pretty much right along 64. That bend in 64 that gets you to Loxley. Loxley, you're going to have to pay attention here. You've got to get into an interior room. It's not smart to be out and about right now. So again, this is a rotation area, but besides the rotation area, we have damaging winds moving through Baldwin County at this point. Montrose still dealing with some of the heavy winds. 98 still dealing with some of the heavy winds, but it's a 181 now that is our concern point for potential winds around 75, 80 miles per hour. Wow. That is some extremely bright colors. Avalon Boulevard, 181. This is County Road 13. That community there, if you'll remind me, Jen, let's zoom on into it. I'll see the roads and I'll be able to. Higbee, Secretariat, Slater Mill Road, County Road 13. There's a neighborhood right here on the right side of 181. I forget the name of the neighborhood, but that is some serious damaging winds that are going on at this point. I think that's what you're thinking of. Jubilee Farms? Jubilee Farms. Yep. Jubilee Farms. Thank you. But yeah, just give you a geographic reference on where damaging winds could be happening at this point. County Road 64 is up here in Belforest. So this is, as you know, targets over here. This is the
what is it, a Circle K on that intersection there.
Yep.
Very strong winds blowing across right now. In between 104 and 64 seems to be my worst spot right now, but still, if you live along Fairhope Falls, you're getting impacted really hard right now. Silver Hill, now's your time as well for the strongest winds. Let's go ahead and be in the interior room. Loxley, very, very soon here, we're going to have to deal with this damaging winds. In fact, probably in the next minute or two. So let's be ready for that. This is actually the rotation area. So Jen, if we could zoom out just a little bit here, this is a incredible radar picture to look at. You've got wind that is turning like this. And what's happening is there's a punch of wind on this backside, and then this wind isn't keeping up. So that's what we're getting, this little rotation area, and that is approaching Loxley at this point. On the south side of this, the wind is epic, potentially around hurricane force. Some of the radar measurements around 70 miles per hour. So we really have to be careful here. This is a tornado warning that has been issued. So again, the advice for a tornado warning is an interior room away from windows. Quick note. It looks like the front edge of this is now getting to 59. North of Summerdale, you see that little area right here. See where there's like a little bit of green, a little bit of red? We're going to have to watch that closely just in case. And then you have this red and green that is up there. So if you're in Summerdale, Robertsdale, let's go ahead and get into an interior room quickly. This road right here, remind me, is this one right here. We'll zoom on in. That's Expressway. Okay, just good. I know that's the expressway there. So County Road 48, County Road 36, some of those areas. If you are in Silver Hill Avenue, on the right side of Silver Hill, on the east side of Silver Hill, once it crosses 104 or once it crosses 59, you've got to be in shelter at this point and away from windows. Elsinore as well. Let's go ahead and get into shelter here. This is a very serious thunderstorm. Loxley, I hope you've been in shelter for a little while. I want to check in on Fairhope real quick. Let's see what's going on there. So Fairhope downtown, it looks like we're on the back edge of the wind here, Fairhope High School. So if you are on the bay side of 98, if you're on the bay side of 98, that is the west side of 98, you're probably on the downslope for this now. So good news for you. In fact, technically, they have trimmed the Grand Hotel out of the tornado warning. So improving conditions there. That's what it looks like right now. I'm interested, I'm kind of looking at it. You can almost see, go ahead.
I want to go ahead and reiterate some things too for the Facebook folks, because I'm getting some questions, some confusion on here about why we're listing off so many communities. And I want to just zoom out just to show how big this tornado polygon is. And the reason for it is because they go ahead and issue some of these just for those straight line winds, because they can cause the same amount of damage as a tornado, but cover a much wider area. So that's why we're talking about all the way up to Stapleton, Spanish Fort, Daphne. Fairhope was in it. They've shaved it off now, but Summerdale, Robertsdale, Loxley. And so this could really spin up a tornado at any point. Yeah. And so that's why you do need to go ahead and be in that safe space. I know that we're covering a lot of areas. We're trying to list off every single community out there, but it is also difficult. And so if you're just in any of those cities, any of these landmarks, those neighborhoods, they sound familiar, play it safe, go ahead, get into your safe space, make sure that your kids are also doing the same. I know it's a very large area, but this is going to be some damaging winds that are moving through. I already know that the electricity, it's been flickering in my house. Okay. I've been getting alerts of that, so we could see some power outages too, so we just need to keep everyone in this area updated. Yeah, so again, this is the big picture, and I'm glad we got on this big picture. That polygon is super big. Why is it so big? As Jen mentioned, we have multiple areas in this that could rotate. And regardless of that, we have a wide swath of potential damaging winds. Damaging wind events can be wide. They can cover a large geographic area. Tornadoes are very small, and we have a couple areas that we're watching for potential tornadoes. But either way, the fact that we have this damaging wind going on, we have such a wide area that we're asking, please be in shelter away from windows. Point Clear. Point Clear in downtown Fairhope, you are on the back side of this. In fact, if you are in Point Clear, you can go ahead and come out of shelter. It is still raining there, but Point Clear, I will give you an all clear at this point. I will also say if you live down County Road 1, going down to Fish River Point, Pelican Point, you're also all clear. You're on the back side of this. Where are the places that we're still concerned about? I'm keeping an eye on this area of rotation here near Summerdale. So this is crossing 59 right now.
And that little rotation area in the latest scan doesn't look as impressive. This looks very impressive still on the latest scan. So the leading edge of the damaging wind crossing 59. Loxley now in some of the damaging winds as well. County Road 64, Bell Forest, all these neighborhoods on the south side of 64, you are getting some of your strongest winds right now. I know it is loud, absolutely loud there. So it's a really, really strong storm. Still moving off to the east at a decent clip. It's not moving super fast, so you're having to deal with these winds for an amount of time here. Loxley, it's about to get to you soon, so let's be ready and get into an interior room away from windows here. This is just a very impressive radar signature. This is a very impressive thing to see damaging winds sweeping across a very populated portion of our viewing area. And that's kind of why we have so much concern here. The latest scan coming in now, heavy wind now getting to Robertsdale. And then also County Road 54, County Road 55, some of the heaviest wind happening right now. That means you still need to be in an interior room away from window. Baldwin Beach Express, if you're going up Baldwin Beach Express, heavy wind is getting to you at this very moment. Looking at some of the other places in line here, Patterson Road, Interstate 10, no driving on Interstate 10 in Baldwin County. That's just silly at this point. No driving on Baldwin Beach Express it's just silly. So latest note from the National Weather Service, extreme winds of up to 80 miles per hour has crossed Highway 59 near Robertsdale, south of Loxley, and will continue to move rapidly east along Highway 90 to east side of Robertsdale, approaching Elsinore within the next 5 minutes. And the note from the National Weather Service is simply take cover immediately in these areas. When I say take cover, that means interior room away from windows. We do not want you to be in a spot where you could have a tree falling on your house. You want to get you with many walls as possible so you can be protected. And maybe a small room is a good idea there. So this is crossing County Road 71, about to cross Baldwin Beach Express. Elsinore is the next community in line here for some of the heaviest winds. So Elsinore is over here. This is County Road 87. This is a slightly more rural part of Baldwin County, but still very heavy winds coming your way. You've got to make sure that you're prepared for it and getting into shelter here. One thing that we're noticing, one thing that I find really interesting with this, there's not a ton of lightning with this. So this is just a thunderstorm that is producing wind and straight up wind as it's blowing through Robertsdale right now. Still have this rotation area. You see this area of red and green near Loxley, something we're watching. And we're watching on the leading edge of this if we have any other spin up areas that happen. Just keeping an eye on different radar sources here. I don't see anything new. But here's Baldwin Beach Express that's crossing now. Downtown Robertsdale, if you will, is getting some of the heaviest wind at this point. Elsinore next in line, County Road 87. Can we get like a big picture real quick? I do want to kind of talk about what's going on here elsewhere. It looks like Magnolia Springs has been trimmed out of that. So Magnolia Springs, let's give you an all clear. Fairhope, all clear. You can come out of your safe place now. Fairhope, you are on light to moderate rain. You are good. The worst of this storm has passed you. Daphne, give me about 3 to 5 minutes. Daphne, give me about 3 to 5 minutes. Lake Forest, give me about 3 to 5 minutes. Loxley, we're still in the heat of it. Robertsdale, we're still in the heat of it. Somerdale, we're still in the heat of it. Elsinore, it's coming to you. If you're in Foley, you're getting a strong thunderstorm, but the heaviest wind is just off to your north. Foley's right here, Somerdale's right here, County Road 32, especially north of County Road 32. If you're along 59, north of County Road 32, that is the area of heaviest wind going on right now. That does include Somerdale, also Silver Hill in that. Looking off to the east and seeing what's happened here, this is Cotton Bayou, this is Ono Island, Perdido Key, Orange Beach. The thunderstorm down there is weaker. The thunderstorm down there is weaker, so that is a good thing. We're still going to watch it, and it's still probably going to pack a punch, but it is a little weaker. Looking at Pensacola, the strongest part of the storm could go through the north side of Pensacola if it holds together. I'm talking Ferry Pass, north of Interstate 10, Gonzales, places like that. So you're going to want to pay attention here. Looking at places like Gulf Breeze, That southern end of the storm will likely get you. So here's where we are right now. Looking down the line, Seminole will be another community. If you're along 90, you have some of the heaviest wind that is going on. County Road 87 in Baldwin County. Baldwin County is our focus area right now, though. Interstate 10, as it goes to Escambia County, Florida. We have to watch here, as this is where the heaviest wind will go very shortly. This is what we're seeing. Leading edge of very, very heavy rain and also strong winds. And this is something that I haven't seen this on our radar in a long time. What we have here is a genuine inflow notch. So take a look at this. You have this leading band of red, right? That's where the heaviest stuff is. On the backside of this, the wind is so strong on the backside of this that is literally punching the rain out. That's why we see weaker reflectivity right here. It is literally punching the rain out all to the leading edge, and that is racing out this way. So very, very strong and impressive signature right now going through Summerdale and Robertsdale. Going to be moving off to the east very soon. Jen, you see anything new going on?
Anything new, but I did want to go ahead and remind the folks that in Mobile County you are all clear. I've been getting some questions about some portions. All of Mobile County, you are good. This is only going to be pushing into Baldwin County when that's where we're starting to see that red polygon, that tornado warning. Even though it is not a confirmed tornado, this is still causing damaging winds out there. A lot of folks on the Facebook Live talking about how loud it is, but now all of a sudden how calm it is in the wake of those storms. Also, I was trying to get the it was tracking east. It picked up a little bit of speed. Now it's moving east at 40 miles per hour.
Thank you. So actually, this will be a good time if we could draw a track on it. I will say I'm looking at a radar loop right now, and it does seem to be weakening. Yeah. A bit here. That is definitely the trend with this. That is great news for folks in Pensacola, in Cantonment, in Milton, because you do not want this coming at you. But here's the time of arrival. This is your swath here of where this is going. Seminole, Gateswood, Cantonment, Molino, all in this here. Here's your times of arrival. Gateswood at 10:04. It is 9:58. Seminole at 10:05. 10:19 for Cantonment, 10:28 for Pensacola. The section that's going into Pensacola is a little weaker. Actually, a decent bit weaker than what we just dealt with, but we're going to pay attention to this. Right now, if I'm correct, it is just the tornado warning that is in effect. Is that correct? Yes. It is just a tornado warning, and that is, of course, all of these areas right here that have just dealt with an epic damaging wind event. The swath of damaging wind swept through Fairhope, pretty much right along 104, and now is located near Summerdale, approaching Seminole. Robertsdale, Elsinore, is also right here, and that's where we have some of the heaviest wind going on at this moment. Loxley, you have heavy rain going on at this point. The winds are probably not as strong there. Stapleton, you just have heavy rain. I don't think the winds are as strong there based on what's happening on radar. But you've got your times of arrival. This thing's still moving off to the east, and we're watching this area of an inflow notch and strong winds bowing this thing out. This backward C shape that you see, that is serious business, and you have to pay attention to it. Gateswood and areas in this more rural part of Baldwin County, you have to pay attention. Quick update for those in Foley. If you are on the Beach Express near Owa, Mifflin, Wolf Bay, Swift, near the airport there in Gulf Shores, you have definitely heavy rain that's falling. Velocity showing us not as much here. In fact, the velocity signature down in southern Baldwin County is weak, very weak here. But overall, again, this is still a strong enough storm that we want to pay attention. So the latest update from the National Weather Service, we're working on a severe thunderstorm warning for a larger area along the line, including the current tornado warned portion of the line. There it is. And we will allow the tornado warning to expire, carry tornado possible warning on the severe. Okay, so let's go ahead and zoom out and get the big picture here. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning that has been issued, and this one is going to include Pensacola. So this severe thunderstorm warning will continue for winds of up to 60 miles per hour. Tornado warning will be allowed to expire relatively soon here. Tornado warning will expire at 10:15 in 15 minutes. I'll go ahead and say Daphne, all clear. Let's go ahead and give an all clear to Daphne and Montrose. Daphne and Montrose, you are all clear. Silver Hill, You're probably getting some winds, but you're about at the all clear at this point here too. This is your new severe thunderstorm warning polygon that does include Pensacola, Cantonment, Molino, a large portion of Escambia County, Florida, and it does go into Santa Rosa County as well. The polygon ends in about an hour at Milton. So that's our time to go here with this severe thunderstorm. Right now, there is no imminent tornado threat with this. However, this severe thunderstorm warning does carry a tornado possible tag. At any moment, there can be a very quick spin-up tornado, and we have to be ready for it here. Looking for our inland spots. If you're in Monroeville, Atmore, Evergreen, Repton, Bruton, you have no real severe weather threat here. This is light to moderate rain. That is great for you because the big stuff is off to your south. Atmore, you have some very heavy rain going on. Stockton, you were really close to a lot of the warnings, but you came out okay, and you're on the downslope for this today. Bay Minette, you have heavy rain that's going on with some lightning as well, and that is still moving off to the east. You will have a little while longer, a few more minutes of that heavy rain, and that will end. Mobile County, we had a tornado earlier near the Magnolia Grove Golf Course. It was a radar-confirmed tornado. That is what put us on air. Now it is light to moderate rain, and your severe weather threat for now is over, and you can rest easy. Downtown Mobile, rest easy. All of Mobile County, we are good. Looking on the back side of this line, we still have damaging winds that are punching through Elsinore right now. Interstate 10 in Baldwin County should not be driven on at this point. If you're in Escambia County and trying to get into Baldwin County, just forget the idea. Go ahead and get into an interior place, get into a store place and ride this thing out. You do not want to be driving in 80-mile-per-hour winds. 80-mile-per-hour winds fighting against you driving 50-mile-per-hour winds. That is not good. Robertsdale, you're on the back side of this now. I can't give you an all clear as you still have some strong wind going on. Summerdale as well. But Clay City along Fish River, if you live right along Fish River, you're all clear at this point. Magnolia Springs, all clear. Pelican Point, this is Weeks Bay here, Fish River Point. That is all clear. You're good if you're right on Weeks Bay. Bon Secours, you're on the back side of this, and I am not as concerned about you here. And you have some heavy rain that's going on off to your east at this point. Wolf Bay and Orange Beach, Perdido Key will be some of the places in line. Let's go ahead and look up. We have an update to the tornado warning that has been issued. That tornado warning continues until 10:15 as they have trimmed up that warning to include Loxley, Elsinore. Who needs to be in shelter right now? Loxley, Elsinore. If you're east of Loxley, Rosington also is right here. That is the Baldwin Beach Express exit. Buc-ee's is located right here at the top of Baldwin Beach Express. If you're near Buc-ee's, you have to be in shelter away from windows. Elsinore, you're getting some of the heaviest wind right now. If you live along County Road 87 all the way up to Interstate 10, let's go ahead and make sure that you're in shelter because you have strong winds near 80 miles per hour blowing through your area. Looking on the back side of this, if you live Marlow, let's give you an all clear there. West of County Road 55, all clear. Silver Hill, all clear. Fairhope Falls, all clear. Rock Creek, all clear. So a lot of those neighborhoods, Dunmore on 181, all clear there. You're done with your threat at this point. The threat is now in Elsinore, just off to your east. Alberta, you're getting some of the heaviest rain at this point, and the new sweep coming in, that is now on the backside for you. This is about to cross into Escambia County very shortly. It looks like the velocities have come down a good bit, and that is a good thing here. We're going to stay with this tornado warning as long as it's here, though, because this is still a very strong thunderstorm. And that'll be moving into places like Barano Park, Molino, this here, Cantonment, Muskogee, along the river here. That's where our next place is in line for some of the strongest wind that we have. Looking near Perdido Bay, this is Seminole right here. The leading edge is now to you. So that is some very heavy wind that is approaching Seminole right now. If you're in Seminole, you've got to be away from windows, definitely. Bellevue, you're going to get some heavier stuff soon, but it is not as severe as it was just off to your north and west. Grand Lagoon, NAS, Pensacola, this is definitely coming your way. So it looks like they're going to hold on to that tornado warning. Right now, if we can go back to velocity, I don't see as much looking. I've been cross-referencing velocity the entire time on my phone, and I don't see as much in the way of rotation here. But still, that is very, very strong wind. Anytime you see these colors going onto this white part of the scale, for reference, it's hard to see this. That says 58 miles per hour on the legend there. So that says 58 miles per hour. We are above 58 miles per hour. We are in like the pink colors here. And this is County Road 64, the north end of 64, Baldwin Beach Express. There you go, 68, 64 miles per hour, some of the wind being measured on velocity at this point. That's going to cross County Road 87 very shortly here, then eventually cross the river into Escambia County. I'm going to watch areas like this, these little things that can spin up rather quickly. We have to watch it very closely. But again, we have a threat here for damaging winds that continues for portions of Escambia County and portions of far, far eastern Baldwin County. Therefore, we are still with you with a tornado warning that continues. Potential tornado in this as well. Even though we don't see one right now, that potential is still there as this thing moves off to the east. Summerdale, let's do the all clear for Summerdale, Silver Hill, Daphne, Montrose, Spanish Fort, Lake Forest. All those places are all clear. We're good to go. You will have calmer conditions now over the next few hours. What we're looking at here, this is Orange Beach, our camera, where it is rocking at this point, and you can see how quickly the clouds are moving by. This is an elevated camera on top of Turquoise Place, and very, very strong winds even down there. And this is not even the strongest part of the storm. So you can see that behind me, some very, very strong winds going on there. Rotation area is still well off to the north, pretty much along Interstate 10, but Interstate 10 all the way south to County Road 32 almost is that corridor of very, very heavy wind going on right now. If you're looking down near Orange Beach, you have one other area that's probably a little bit more elevated in winds. You can see kind of the brightness there on velocity. In inspecting it, yeah, it does look like it's a smaller kind of Boeing segment here. And that is blowing through Orange Beach. Yeah, you see that with those brighter colors there? That's what we're seeing at Orange Beach. That Orange Beach camera doing a good job picking that up. It is really rocking here. So south side of Foley Beach Express near the wharf. This is not a tornado threat for you. Let me say that again. Orange Beach is no tornado threat for you at this point. This is just a damaging wind threat. So we have strong winds that are blowing through here. Perdido Key, that'll get to you soon. Still, the velocity signature stowing around 60, almost 70 mile per hour winds here. The latest update, we are going to expire that tornado warning here. Now we're at 10:15. At 10:15 is when they're going to expire that thing here. And we're still watching this area. It's on the north end of this Boeing segment. So what has happened here, we've had a push of wind out this way. Wind's pushed really hard. On the north side of this, we're kind of getting this tail end vortex that'll start to develop. And we're going to have to watch it closely because that could always spawn a possible spin-up tornado. That is why the severe thunderstorm warning that we have still has a tornado possible tag. So tornado warnings right here. This border polygon is a tornado possible tag. At any moment, we could see a spin-up tornado. That's why you really want to pay attention to this warning here. So it is 10:08 right now. We are here on air for a tornado warning that has been issued for portions of Baldwin County. Is about to expire relatively soon here. And we continue with a severe thunderstorm warning for Escambia County, Santa Rosa County, and portions of Baldwin County. Foley, you're on the back side of this right now. You were never in a need to shelter situation, but I'll tell you right now, you're on the backside of this. You're all clear, good to go. Summerdale, you're all clear. Robertsdale, especially south of US 90 in Robertsdale, south of 104, you are all clear. Probably dealing with some heavy rain on the north side of Robertsdale still. Malbus, all clear at this point. You can resume normal activity. I do want to say this real quick. If you live on 104 or any of the places that have seen damage today, please, if you can, safely submit your photos of damage onto the Fox 10 weather app. That is a great way for us to see what is going on. We can share that with the National Weather Service so they can get surveys and figure out what has happened there as well. So if you have any photos of damage, please submit them on the Fox 10 weather app. We also had a tornado that happened earlier near the Magnolia Grove Golf Course in Mobile County. If any damage reports from that area, please let us know. Also, we are streaming live on Facebook right now. Let us know what you have seen. Is your power out? Do you have any damage? Have you seen trees down? Have you seen limbs down? All that stuff is very, very valuable information. So tell us your location and where you saw it, what happened, so we can get an idea of what's going on. So the back edge of this is now, passing through the tornado warning. We're still watching this area here near Gateswood for possible rotation, but I feel a little better about this right now. Bellevue, you're about to get some of the heavy rain and gusty winds, Pine Forest as well. The latest velocity scan here still shows very strong winds, possibly up to around 60 miles per hour. So this is a real severe thunderstorm warning. It's heavy wind right now continuing for Elsinore. This is kind of the backside of it. And then that's crossing the river, getting into Escambia County very shortly here. Jen, how are the Facebook comments doing? What's going on there?
A lot of folks that were talking about how loud it was in Bay Minette. Now we're starting to see a lot of that beginning to clear out. So Bay Minette, you're starting to shape up. You're looking a lot better. Foley folks were also saying the same, but I was seeing a lot of damage reports. So just make sure, in case you are going to be driving anytime soon, please be cautious on the roadways. I've been getting some reports, especially down in 98 in Daphne as you're approaching closer towards the Montrose area. That Tractor Supply down there, I got some reports there. Power outages in Loxley. Sis Wood says no power on 90 in Robertsdale. Lacey says that she's just waiting on it. She's working in Pensacola, just waiting on it. Billy says that on County Road 13, her husband said that there was a lot of debris. So just make sure that you are being cautious out there. Also, Megan says a tree and a fence down in Loxley. So we are getting some of those tree limbs, power outage reports. So just make sure that you stay updated with us here on Facebook. We'll continue with this for about the next 4 minutes, but they are allowing that tornado warning to expire. But just make sure that you're being careful out there on the roadways.
I'll say that the latest message from Baldwin County EMA, 911 call for a funnel cloud right here. So that was near the Wilcox Road exit, and that makes complete sense. This is the part of the storm that's rotating, so we're gonna have to keep an eye on this still over the next little bit. It's about to cross into Barano Park. If you're in Molino, heads up to you right now that you could have a rotating part of the storm that is coming your way. Also, Baldwin County Sheriff's Office reports trees down on County Road 54. Belforest Cemetery Road and Austin Road. Some of those places in County Road 54, 104, 64, 181, all those places were impacted by the heaviest wind. There's probably some difficult driving now in this swath where we had the damaging winds, because this wasn't one of those things where, oh, this is a severe thunderstorm warning, we're talking about winds. No, this wasn't that. This was serious wind that probably caused some damage. So that's why we kind of elevated the coverage here, because it was so significant. But again, right now, concern is a rotation area near Gateswood that's about to cross into Escambia County, and some heavy thunderstorms that are off to the south blowing through places like Orange Beach, Perdido Key right now. Can we go to velocity real quick? I want to check this out on velocity and see what has happened here so far and where this is going. Yeah, see this corridor here where the reds and greens are close to each other. That's your rotation corridor. That's where at any point in this area we could have a spin up. Now this is a very rural area. That's the north end of County Road 87, and this is Alabama 112. So those intersections there, this is Gateswood. If you know anybody that is out there, happens to be out there, they need to be off the roads and inside at this point, because there is the possibility of something to spin up. Pine Barren, Molino will be our next folks in line for some of the most impactful stuff. If we could zoom out real quick, I want to go kind of big picture here. And can you put a loop on this? I want to look and see where the swath of damaging winds was. So this is what happened. Over the bay, it intensified very significantly. And there you see it blew out right over Fairhope, went through Daphne, pretty much on the north side of 104. There was a rotation area right here along 181 and County Road 13. See that little flash of green? Boom, right there. And then across through Robertsdale, 54, we have reports of trees down. That makes complete sense. And now, see it's spreading out a little bit. It was really tight earlier, and now it's starting to kind of fan out. The damaging wind threat's probably lessening a little bit at this point, but now it is located crossing Interstate 10, about to cross into Escambia County. This swath, this part of Baldwin County right here, in between Daphne and Loxley, up right around County Road 64, along and north of 104, north side of Fairhope as well. That includes Montrose. If you have any reports of damage, please let us know. I'm really curious to see if anything has happened, because that is probably one of the more significant areas of wind that we have seen. So time now is 10:15. Meteorologist Nicholas Urbosa, meteorologist Jennifer Lambers, we are interrupting Studio 10 right now for a tornado warning that was issued for Baldwin County. That tornado warning has now expired. The big picture shows us a line of very strong thunderstorms still producing potentially damaging winds that is about to enter Pensacola. The section entering Pensacola, the winds are not as strong as they were off to our north near Daphne and Loxley, but still enough where the National Weather Service has continued a severe thunderstorm warning. We have an area of rotation that's located near the Gateswood community. It is weaker rotation, but it is still some rotation. Also, along Interstate 10, we have an area of strong winds that is about to push into Escambia County here. So all this moving off to the east, we're still going to have to keep an eye on this as it moves off to the east. So Escambia County, including Pensacola, up to Molino, be ready for a strong thunderstorm moving your way. Time now is 10:16. We're going to briefly go to break. We'll be right back with more updates.